Hey guys, back with another video. This is another theory of gender difference. So it's going to answer the question, where are the women, with the answer in a different position than men are. This is our first properly sociological theory in the sense that it is going to, the theories we've had up until now, cultural and existential, are more philosophical. This one's going to be rooted in, okay, so how does society function that produces gender difference? And the idea is it's our social institutions. So when you hear social institutions, you want to think patterned ways of meeting needs. And the main social institution that is going to be at the root of feminist institutional theory is going to be the family. So the idea goes basically this way. So it results from different roles in institutions, but really focus on the family, the gendered division of labor within the family. So traditional family structure in America is father or husband in the public sphere, mother, wife in the private sphere, in the home. So she's got the roles of homemaker, of emotional caretaker, all of that. And the idea here in feminist institutional theory is starting with that, boys and girls are raised to understand men are active in the world, women are active in the home doing caretaking and homemaking type of work. And it basically, from that early socialization, you end up with men and women both understanding men as being people who are capable of solving problems, capable of leadership, women whose domain is basically the private sphere. So by watching mothers and fathers in terms of how they divide up their labor, you end up socializing kids to have this sort of gendered understanding that then produces and reproduces itself, so that when you look at society at any particular point in time, you see men as the people who are active in public, women as the people who are active in the private sphere. And that's basically the entire thing. They go on to say that we can understand this carries over into different settings, like in political behavior, so a gender gap in voting. In choices of careers, women having careers in caring professions. And even in terms of an individual's career, with the idea of the mommy track, where a woman will go into her career for a while and then step out of her career in order to have children and be the one in charge. And obviously, that's not a necessary choice. I mean, it's necessary for the woman to be the one who's going to have the baby, but it's not necessary for the expectation to be that then the mother is going to be the one who stays home and takes care of the child. That part could be done and is done in some cases by men. And that's basically it. That's institutional theory. We can see a couple of issues with it. First of all, it hasn't aged super well, as people of your generation expect a more egalitarian division of labor, even though sociological research still suggests that even in homes where both parents work, women still do more of the child care and still do more of the homekeeping. The other thing that this missed, even initially, even when that gendered division of labor was more pervasive and more expected, like with not exactly my generation, but my parents' generation. The issue that it doesn't address is that intersectionality issue that we've talked about at the very beginning, and we're going to talk more about later on, which is women of color didn't have the expectation that they were not going to work because their labor was necessary in terms of keeping the income up for the family. But that said, it's not super important it's important for you to think through critiques of this, but it's more important to understand right now that feminist institutional theory says, based on the institutions that we raise children in, that children come to have certain expectations for how boys and girls are supposed to live, how men and women are supposed to live, and it ends up becoming kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It reproduces itself. Again, as I just said, problems with that because there is social change, and feminist institutional theory isn't great at dealing with that. But that's it. That's all I got to say about that. In our next video, we will look at a theory that has a little bit more of a role for agents to be able to act, and where we can see social change. And it's going to be our last theory of gender difference, which is going to be feminist interactionist theory. So I'll talk to you about that in the next video.